People vote down financial lines. And the problem is we don't have anybody good to vote for. You say, no, I want change. Well, what if it changes for the worse? You say, well, I want to hold the line. That doesn't seem very exciting to me. Paying $10 a gallon for gas, woo, that's exciting. More people out of work, more foreclosures, that's exciting. Friends, we're going to have to get over the idea that the hope of America is tied up in a Republican or a Democrat. The only hope America has is God. If we would get right with God, God would bless. If we are wrong with God, if we continue to do the same things the same way and expect something different, friend, that's the definition of insanity. God says here in verse number 30, He said, I sought for a man among them that should make up the hedge. Hey, that making up the hedge means when there's a gap, when there's a place where the enemy can get in. If you'll think back to the book of Nehemiah, when Nehemiah, he heard word that the walls were broken down. That those walls were the protective hedge around the city. Listen, his heart was broken because the bad guys were coming and going as they pleased. I don't know what America's going to look like in 2 generations. I don't know if churches are going to be legal in 2 generations. They're already starting to lock up preachers in Canada even now for just preaching the gospel. Preachers in other countries, it's against the law to go and preach. What we did yesterday at the parade, walking around passing out gospel tracts, you can be locked up in several countries all around the world. Just not allowed. Can't have it. A meeting like this, you can have stormtroopers come in and arrest everybody and imprison us for a meeting like this in some countries. And America seems to fall in love with the way other countries do things. Can you not realize that the reason that millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people have been coming here for more than 100 years is because America had it figured out? When we came as a Christian nation that feared God and loved God and eschewed evil, and we came and we didn't want to be ruled by a king, no king but Jesus. Our laws, our very lives, well, we can't have the 10 Commandments in the courthouse. The laws of the courthouse were based on the 10 Commandments. You go to the Supreme Court today, and you look at the top of the steps, and you'll see great lawgivers from all around the world, from all times. And the very centerpiece is Moses holding forth the 10 Commandments at the Supreme Court of the United States of this America. And yet we want to outlaw the 10 Commandments. God help us. We need some people that know more about the Bible than more about American Idol. We need people to start worrying about voting out some crooked judges than worried about voting people off the island. We need people to start being thinking about their Bible than what's on the TV. We need to remember how America was founded. We need to remember what it was that made America great. It wasn't because we were the strongest. It wasn't because we were the mightiest. It's because we love God. God says in these verses, and I believe in my heart of hearts, that God is saying today that He's looking for a man. He's looking for somebody who will make up the hedge, who will see those dangerous places and get in the way. Can you imagine? I mean, our front door could fall off today at our house, but if it does, I'm sleeping in a chair in the doorway. And I dare somebody to come in. You need to make sure that you're standing in the gap. Look at the benefits of standing in the gap. He says, somebody that should make up the hedge, to stand in the gap. Why? To hold off God's judgment. Look at this. To stand in the gap before me for the land, that I should not destroy it. When God's done with America, He'll be done. What scares me is that here we are in this Christian nation. We are the last of the military superpowers of the world. All the other ones are gone. They've disbanded. They've just dissembled. And America is the last of the superpowers in the world, which puts a pretty big bullseye on America. What if God's hand was removed from America? Let me say it like this. In a country that majors on killing babies, in a country that blasphemes God openly on its radio and TV airwaves, in a country that has outlawed God in schools, has outlawed God in our courthouses, has outlawed prayer in many public settings. What if God said, you know what? You don't want me to have any part of you? I'll just let you have it. Friend, America might get what she deserves. My problem is I don't want America to get what she deserves. Not on my watch. I thank God every day for God's mercy on a wicked sinner like me. In Sunday school today, we spoke about appreciation and gratitude. One of the greatest things anybody could ever do is just simply to say thank you. If we're thankful for a God in heaven who can watch over us, we ought to show it in our lives. One of these days, America may no longer be a great world power. It may not be a superpower. If you look out through history, no superpower has ever lasted more than just a couple of hundred years. Historically, we're at the end of our time. If you look at the history books. But I know this, it doesn't have to happen because we let it happen. We need to do something about our house. If your house fails, our church will fail. And if our church and churches like it fail, America will fail. That is a historically accurate fact. That if we as individuals fail, our families fail. If our families fail, our churches fail. And if our churches fail, it's just all over. And you say, well, America deserves it. Maybe, but I just don't want it to happen on our watch.